Okay, I'm here today with Moose Rosenfeld. Rosenfeld fame, whom I affectionately call Moose Man. Moosey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Daniela. Thank you.
Good, man. So what we're doing is we're actually reaching out to all of our franchisees and seeing what their experience has been like with Network in Action. And whenever we speak with you, it's always a privilege. You are our first person to buy on to the Network in Action franchise model, and you have run it to great success. We're very proud of that, and we wanted to learn a bit more about your experience there. So, what areas of the country are you servicing?
Well, hey, Daniela, thank you. I appreciate being on this morning. I am Southwest Houston. I have my original Galleria group. I launched in April of 2015. I then launched my Bel Air group in January of 16 and Memorial Park April of 18. So currently it's in and around Southwest Houston.
Okay, wow, that's and so you have your three operating groups, and you did seem to grow them over time. That was your strategy,
Sure.
um, and uh, and so what's your membership like at right about now?
Total?
Yeah, sure, just a roundabout idea.
In the 70 plus.
Amazing.
I also co-own a B2B group with Scott Talley, the franchisor, and so I'm helping build out that group as well. So I love what I do.
Yeah, man. And people love you. You have a reputation. I know the other day, I was talking to Christina Bell in one of our last discussions, and she was pointing out how Network in Action is becoming a bit more and more of a household name. And I know the other day, I got a knock on the door from the Census Bureau, and they're coming to get my information. And she sees me wearing my Network in Action shirt, and she goes, "You're in Network in Action?" I say, "Yeah." She goes, "Tell Moose I said hi." I'm like, "Man, this guy is just everywhere."
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So you're a very well-connected individual, revered and beloved by many. So Moose, so we've already kind of covered this, how long you've had your franchise. So what made you decide to become a community builder for Network in Action?
Well, that is such a great question. I had been part of networking groups for about 10 years prior to receiving a phone call from Scott Talley in November of 2014, and he said that he had an idea he wanted to share with me. He knew that I was a member of a different networking group, and I think he wanted to pick my brain to see what his model looked like in comparison with the model that I had been part of. And I was kind of intrigued at first. I was like, "Are you kidding? You're going to start a networking group,
Hmm.
and you know that I'm very entrenched in my other one. Why would you call me?" And he goes, "I want to pick your brain." And so I liked the model enough that I decided to become the very first franchisee in April of 2015. And I haven't looked back. This has been just such a great deal for me. My background in radio, working at radio stations for 30 years, in sales and upper level management roles. And then also with the digital media company, when I retired from radio in 2003, I wasn't ready to retire in life. I was just simply ready to retire from radio. And I opened up an ad agency for a couple of years. And then from that, it became a digital media company. And I did that for like 10 years. And when I had my very first group, I was still able to handle all my digital media clients. And when I started my second group in January of 16, I knew that that was not going to be able to happen, that I was literally having more fun with my network and action business than I was my digital media company. So I've told all my clients that when their contracts are up, if you want to continue with the programs that we were doing, I would turn you over to the guy that was doing all the back end work for me. I wanted to focus on building my network and action business and building relationships. I love our motto, man, building relationships that last a lifetime. So I think that this is the stage that I have been waiting for my entire life to be on. And I finally found out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And
Yeah,
that's a community builder with NIA.
and you truly are a rock star with it, man. And so your background was in radio,
Correct.
and then you went into the digital media, but the radio aspect, I imagine, that required a lot of work. I imagine it's a high energy person that's, always hitting the phone, making those connections. So, you did kind of have, for lack of a better word, a prerequisite filled out,
Sure.
in terms of, being able to make connections and kind of being a natural with people, would you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've never met a stranger.
Ah,
Literally moved when I decided to get into radio in San Antonio in 1974. I didn't know a soul, but I built a great client. I built a great book of business there. I was recruited to move to Shreveport, Louisiana in 1975, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, Shreveport?" At a country station, I didn't know a soul in Reno. I ended up knowing, I'm sorry, in Shreveport. I knew everybody before I left 9 years later. Was asked to build a radio station from the ground up in Reno,
mhm.
Lake Tahoe, Nevada in 1984. I picked up and moved to Reno, didn't know a soul. I knew a lot of people, obviously with the name like Moose, that served me very well
Yeah.
in my life. And at any rate, I ended up having a family member. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1988,
Mm,
and I knew I needed a strategy to get closer back home. And I was recruited again to a radio station in Austin, Texas, and which was a step closer back to Houston New Year's Day of '91. I was asked to help put Smooth Jazz 106.9 on the air. And in '94, I had the opportunity to flip 610 to an all sports format. And I guess the thing that followed me along was that the relationships that I had built in radio, no matter what market, I still have friends in Reno, I still have friends in Shreveport that I talk to all the time. And it's the relationships that I built during these times that allowed me to transition from radio to digital to now network and action, my
right
final
on.
career, my final career, I promise you. Uh,
All
I've
right.
been I've been very blessed to have three phenomenal careers, and I think I did pretty well at all of them because I like helping people, and that's the main thing with NIA that I see is my ability to every single day have an impact on a member, whether it's professional, whether it's advice, whether it's a connection, whether it is a referral, a mastermind. I've called on every kind of business that you can possibly think of, and I like digging in to my clients. They are clients, my network and action members. Their
Mhm.
business and coming up with growth plans for them, and I think I'm suited really well for that.
Yeah. I mean, the proof is in the pudding right there. And I really think that, your success, just as an individual is kind of a testament to networking as a concept.
Mhm.
How you have these relationships and they're helping take you to the next phase in life, and you landed here at NIA. This is where
Thank
you
the good
belong,
Lord.
man.
Thank the
Yeah,
good Lord.
right
Uh,
on.
I had met Scott some 15 plus years ago, and through golf, and I thought, man, this is a guy that I like his energy, his personality.
Hmm.
I knew that there was a great connection between the two of us, and I thank the good Lord that He called me in November of 14 and said, "Hey, man, tell me what you think."
Hmm.
And I got through the holidays of 2014 not really thinking that I was going to be a franchise owner. And but the more I thought about it, and the more my sphere of influence, my business coach, my all the people that I have a great deal of respect for, they were saying, Moose, you would be so good at this. People will follow you. It's all about building trust, respect, and like. And those things I think are prevalent to being successful literally in anything, but especially when you're in the people business like we are today.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love every day of the week. I will tell you that this little contraption right here is my
Hmm.
best. It's a great friend of mine because I couldn't tell you how many thousands of people that I have in my phone, but I always tell people, hey, tell me who you want to get to know. I may have them in my phone.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they go, hey man, how about this person? I go, yeah, I got it right
Oh,
here.
I know you know the man. You're the man who knows the man. So,
Yeah.
So, all right. So I gotta kind of push it along here. So what advice would you have for someone who is interested in starting their own group? Maybe not even a network in action group, but starting their own networking group.
Well, I could have probably started a group without the infrastructure of Network in Action. In fact, I've been asked that. Why did you do Network in Action instead of just starting your own group? Well, it's called infrastructure. It's called Daniello. It's called the support team. It's called everything that y'all have. I didn't want to go out and build a website, for a group that I might have been able to start by myself. I like the structure of Network in Action. All the tools that anybody could possibly need to be successful is in the back office, videos to how you get started to, and any and everything that a potential franchise person would be. I can tell you that in my previous group, when I was on membership committee twice, I had a say so in kind of who got in and who didn't. I am the go-to guy. Nobody's going to get into a group without my say so. I have
Yeah.
my members bringing me people. Hey, I think they'd be a great fit. I talk with them, find out if there's common synergies, common goals. If I think I can help, and if so, then I offer an invitation to become part of it. I like of who gets in my groups. I
Yeah.
think
You
that's the main
are the
thing.
membership committee. Yeah.
I
And
am,
so,
and I would say in the leadership team, all
yeah.
rolled up into one.
hmm And so, what would you say you enjoy most about your network and action franchise?
The relationships, man. They are Network in Action members, but they're also my friends.
Yeah.
I think that the friendships that I've been able to make, since 2015 has been absolutely amazing. Just knowing that I have something, that I'm playing a part in their success, and I know most of my members. I know their family. I know their kids' names. I know what their sports teams are. I like to know as much as I possibly can about them as people, and then it's everything else. So the relationships that I've been able to build over the last 5 years, and I'm starting into my sixth year, has just been life changing for me.
Right on, man. And and I hope you're still with you. Your screen froze, except okay, yeah, your audio is coming through just fine. So I'm gonna keep it going, and you seem to be back, so that's great. Um, and so we're currently recording this interview. It's September 16th, 2020. It seems like we are starting to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic and trying to achieve some sense of normalcy, at least here in Houston. What was your response to COVID-19? How has that been an effect on your group?
Well, obviously, my March meetings got canceled. They were basically the restaurants were shut down. That I have my meetings at, and it's like, oh my God, here's a curveball. How are you going to hit it? Oh, it's a slider. How are you going to hit it?
Hmm.
I had to adapt, as we all have. Thank God that for Zoom, like we're doing right now.
Yep.
And I think that if nothing else, my business has grown. My membership has actually grown during COVID, if you can believe that. A lot of it's kudos to Scott and his vision about how to grow during COVID. Thank the good Lord that we have. I think in today's time, Daniello, that people are looking for a community. It's one thing to um, I'm going to leave it at that. We're a community, and we're all checking on one another to make sure that we're all doing okay. If there's anything that's needed, I love the nonprofits that I get to work with.
Hmm.
Belanisio, Teresa Strong with Belanisio.
Yeah, she's great.
I love to help her. I'm a co-founder of a golf tournament called the Bad Pants Open, and we raise money for the newborn center at Texas Children's Hospital. And I'm really proud to say that on our 22nd year, we're over $7.5 million that we've raised for the NICU, families
Amazing.
who are affected by early births. And that's something that I take great pride in. We even have a wing named after the Bad Pants Open at Texas Children's at the medical district downtown. And we also donated $1 million to the new Texas Children's Hospital up in the Woodlands. They were not originally going to have a NICU, but we said, what do you need? And they said 1 million. And we said, okay, we're in. So part of the money that we earn, that we make every year, we're writing checks for over 500,000, every year. So we're on a $1 million 2-year run rate. I love that. I mean, it's all about, who you are as a person. My dad left the greatest legacy of anybody that I've ever known. And I want to follow in those footsteps of being a great guy. I'm blessed to have a great wife for 21 years, and she's my rock,
Mhm.
Lisa. And people say, how are you doing? I go, I am so lucky to live the life that I do. I'm very blessed. And
Yeah.
so anyway, COVID has been, it's been really hard for a whole lot of people. That's why I pick up the phone and call it pretty much somebody, 2 or 4 people every day in my NIA family to check and see how they're doing. I love the meetings. We're doing, for the first time since May, we did a virtual and an in-person in May. June, July, August have been total virtual. And then September, I'm doing a hybrid model, in
All
person
right.
and Zoom. And yesterday, I think I had 16 in person and 5 on Zoom, and I'm okay with that. There are some that are not comfortable in person yet, and for
Yeah.
that, I have to accommodate for those that are not comfortable yet.
Of
Uh,
course.
to be able to do both. You have to be flexible in these times, man. And
Yeah.
listen, if you move to markets and you don't know a soul and you come away, knowing everybody, and doing pretty darn good, I'm okay with this. I just pray for everybody's safety. I pray for everybody's health, and I'm lucky to be able to do what I do every day of the week.
Right
So.
on, man. And once again, you do it well. And the COVID aside, I want to end this interview on a high note. So, what is your favorite network in action group activity?
Um, I would have to say the monthly meetings are wonderful, just to be able to see people in person again.
Hmm.
And that's bringing, people together. And the monthly meetings, I moved from a weekly to a monthly, and people go, how does monthly work? Well, thank goodness we have great technology that allows everybody to stay connected. I also do additional networking events during the course of the month. Like I have a coffee blitz, a coffee click on Friday mornings. I do a lunch bunch get together the first Thursday of the month, generally one-to-ones. Just, I think it's just a whole bowl of soup.
Yeah.
It's not just, I have a hard time to say, oh, it's this, because it is a combination of all the different things that we do to ensure our members' success, our guaranteed return on a member's annual investment. When I was in radio, we couldn't offer that. I can guarantee you that your commercial is going to run, but I can't guarantee anybody's going to come in after
Hmm.
having heard it.
Yeah.
Digital media was more branding, at least the niche that I was in. It was more branding. We know whether this works or not. I'm seeing relationships that are being built that I know are going to last a lifetime. I'm seeing, whether it's people in the Bel Air group meeting people in the Galleria or the Memorial Park and the B2B, and I'm seeing all of this activity and all these friendships that are being developed. And I think if there's one thing, I would say that it's the relationships and the friendships that I see happening with Network in Action. My NIA family, they're extended, but they're as close to me as anything that I can possibly think of.
All right. Well, thanks, Moose. I gotta let you go. Are there any parting words that you'd like to bestow on to potentially future members or maybe even future franchisees?
Give it a shot, man.
All right.
Shot. I've always said life is about 80% of showing up. And if you show up and you actually care about someone and their future, this is the greatest business model ever. I mean, it really is. So if you have questions, man, anybody can call me. I'm happy to share my experience offline with anybody that has whether it's for membership or whether it's about potential franchise. Greatest business decision that I've made in maybe ever. Just having the ability to help and having the ability to put great people together. I love it. So thank you for taking time to talk with me this morning.
All right. Thanks for being on, Moose. It's always a pleasure, man. Keep
All
rocking.
right. You got it, D. Thank you, buddy.
Later, Moose.
Bye.